Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we are going to see a very strong team, and I did really well with it. And in today's set I went around 16 and 9, which doesn't seem too good, but when I'm trying this team on the first day itself, I think this team did pretty well. So the team consists of Gyarados lead, which I think is a decent lead in the current meta, and I'm using Gengar and Obstagoon as safe swaps. I think these three Pokemons are pretty good save swaps in the Ultra Lake Premier. So that's why I think this is a pretty safe team, and Gengar puts in a lot of shield pressure as well. So in the first few games I'm running Obstagoon with Cross Chop and Night Slash, but eventually I do end up turning to Gunk Shot instead of Cross Chop because I feel like I need to have some Charmer coverage. But I think in my opinion either of the moves do well. And before we start with the team composition, if you're new to the channel and if you like our content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It will help us a lot. And if you want to join the Battleset Discord server, there is a link to that in the description down below. So let's start with the team composition. So as I mentioned, the team which we are using is Gyarados, Gengar and Obstagoon. So the team in the PvP rating does not do well. I think the coverage is decent, but the safety ranks is C. But that totally depends on I think that depends on certain matchups because the Gyarados in the lead is weak to grass mounts as well as electrics. Plus it's kind of weak to Gallade because Gallade is a mon that can challenge our team pretty good, and I really struggle against the Gallade leads. So if you don't get Gallade lead, I think every matchup is playable because you do have two pretty good save swaps in your team. So without further delays, let's start with the battles and see how the battle goes. So we are in a tan growth lead, and this lead is not favorable, so I say swap to Gengar and the opponent will swap to Escavalier, so we do have a chance to win the switch advantage back. And let's see if the Shadow Ball lands, and the Ball lands, which is really good because now our Obstagoon will be paired up against that tan growth, and the opponent has an Aggron in the back, which is really good because Gengar will pressure a lot of shields, and then Obstagoon will look to sweep in the back. And so we are able to get to another Shadow Punch. So we are grabbing both the shields of the opponent, and now we can just come in with Obstagoon and farm down this Aggron. And for the first few games I'm running Obstagoon with Cross Chop, and for the later part I swap to Gunk Shot because I feel Gunk Shot is kind of necessary on Obstagoon just to have that Charmer coverage. And now I'll go for Crunch of my Gyarados, and this will bring down the tan growth very low. Unfortunately they felt like they need to throw their energy, but the game was relatively over because we do have full health Obstacle in the back with the shield intact. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a Gyarados mirror. So this can swing either. It depends on who will be able to land the crunch, and I think their Gyarados wins the CMP. So they went for crunch, which is really good. So I farmed some extra energy and go for Aqua Tail bait. Let's see if the opponent falls for it and ends up shielding. So the opponent shields, and I think this is one advantage of throwing in late, because if you throw it in the crunch late, then it will give you an opportunity to like KO the Gyarados. So the shield pressure increases, and the opponent is out of shields, which is really good because now Gengar can really have a fun time against the opponent's backline. And Aqua Tail, we don't need to shield anything, and the opponent comes in with Scizor. So I go for Cross Chop. This will do some decent neutral damage, and I think Scizor will be doing some decent damage with the X-Scissor as well, but they go for Iron Head, and I was looking to swap there to Gengar, but I think it was a CMP tie. So now I can come in with Gengar, farm a lot of energy, but if they have a Snorlax, yes, they totally have a Snorlax in the back. So yeah, at this point I cannot do anything against the Snorlax, and it's basically maybe if I shielded the Iron Head of that Scizor, but yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and we are in a very favorable lead in the form of this Escavalier, and the opponent staying in this matchup, and they did a really great job to take on this Aqua Tail onto their Empoleon. But we do have an answer to this Empoleon in form of our Obstagoon, and the counters are just just chunking away. So no need to shield the first hydro cannon, and I farm a lot of energy because I knew that Escavalier would come in and just basically delete our Obstagoon. So I needed Obstagoon to be very low so that Escavalier doesn't get a chance to farm a lot of energy. But they come in with Gyarados, and they absorb all the damage coming in from Obstagoon, but they will take some, I think, yeah, they took a lot of damage from our Gyarados, from that Obstagoon. So now I come in with Gyarados to absorb all the damage coming in from this Escavalier. Fortunately, I will not be able to reach an Aqua Tail before this Escavalier throws, but we will survive this aerial ace and go for Aqua Tail. And if the opponent does not shield, we will switch in immediately to Gengar and farm a lot of energy of this Escavalier. Fortunately, we are able to farm down that one, and at this point the game is pretty much over because Gengar with 2 shields, and yeah, I think maybe the opponent could have fought there. But yeah, good game. So in a horrible lead in the form of a Alolan Raichu. So going for Shadow Punch, this is definitely going to grab the shield, and I need to shield as well because Gengar is squishy, and that definitely must have been shielded because it was a wild charge. And the opponent comes in with Altaria, so getting some Great League vibes here. And going for Shadow Ball, but the opponent does not shield, which is really good because now Gengar will just knock out. Gengar has wrecked the opponent's team as well, so should come in with Gyarados, and no need to shield this Sky attack. And I think now the game is pretty much in control because the Alolan Raichu was very low, and we are able to pull the trigger on Night Slash as well before the Alolan Raichu gets to throw a charge move, which is really good. And now I shield this expecting a wild charge, and the opponent throws a wild charge indeed. And this swap out to Dragonite, so the opponent was running double dragon. But since we do have Gyarados in the back, and we get a boost, I think then Obstagoon will become unstoppable now. And the Dragon Claw brings us very low, but we are able to throw this last minute Night Slash. This will be enough to take out the Dragonite, and I immediately swap to my Gyarados to Dragon Protect down the Alolan Raichu. So yeah, good game. Moving on to the next one, and in a very favorable lead, and this is the reason I was running Gyarados in the lead, because I was seeing a lot of Kingdras and Dragonites, especially Dragonites. So the opponent will swap to Togekiss, and now I come in with my Gengar to combat the Togekiss. Unfortunately, they didn't shielded the first Shadow Punch, so now I have to expend some more energy in order to knock down this Togekiss, because Togekiss is a problem for our team, and they come in with Swampert. So I go for Shadow Claw because I would not be able to reach Shadow Ball before the Swampert gets to an Hydro Cannon. And the opponent was trying to farm us down, but this gives us an opportunity to go for another Shadow Punch. And by the time we are done with the Swampert is already very low, and they go for Sludge Wave, so I take the Sludge Wave on my Obstagoon. And this Swampert, although it will throw another Hydro Cannon, I don't think it will still Chaos. And we do have Gyarados up against this Kingdra, so we will be able to do super effective damage against that Kingdra, whereas we will be taking neutral. So the opponent goes for Octazooka, and fortunately we don't get a debuff, and we are able to Dragon Breath down the Kingdra, and the game is over, and the opponent lost with 2 shields. So yeah, good game. And again we are in a very horrible lead, and I save swap to Gengar, and the opponent comes in with Charizard, and I go for Shadow Ball straight away, thinking that opponent might not shield, and the opponent does not shield, which is really good because we are able to farm down the Charizard as well. And now in comes Togekiss, and I go for Shadow Punch bait. Let's see if the opponent falls for it or not. The opponent does not fall for it, but we do have some residual energy, and we are able to pull the trigger on another Shadow Punch, and the opponent does not shield this as well, and we have almost knocked down the Togekiss. And even though this Togekiss will throw an aerial, this will not do a lot of damage, and we are able to feign down the Togekiss. And the opponent comes in with Venusaur, so this match is not really over still now, because Gyarados will be taking a lot of damage from those Frenzy Plants, and Night Slash will only be doing neutral. But I think we end up winning this match. Not sure how can we manage to lose this one. So going for the opponent goes for Frenzy Plant, and I go for Night Slash. This is most likely to grab another shield of the opponent, the opponent definitely would shield. And now maybe I try to sack swap there, but let's see what happens. So I don't shield the Obstagoon, maybe because this would have given the opportunity to farm some energy off us, and so we are able to reach the crunch because we saved the shield for Gyarados. So yeah, good game. Well, I think that was very well played from my end. And moving on to the next one, we are in an Swampert lead. So this is the lead which you want to see when you're leading Gyarados, and the opponent will swap to Alolan Muk. So I almost swapped there out, swap out to Gengar there, but I saved some energy of my Gyarados and come in with Obstagoon. And I think not sure if I'm still running cross chop or if I've swapped to Gunk shot. Yeah, I've swapped to Gunk shot now. So cross chop would really have been handy there because cross chop would have been neutral. So not getting a lot of boost this time around, and these Night Slash adding with the counter damage have added up, and I at this point need to keep the switch advantage because Gyarados will have a really color time against that Swampert. So expecting Swampert to come back in and expecting to farm us down, but they come in with I think that was Escavalier, and we are able to throw this last minute Night Slash, and now I can come in with the Gengar and expecting a swap immediately to swap Swampert, so I swap to Gyarados of my own, and we will be pressuring a lot of opponent shields, and Gyarados will be taking resisted damage except the one coming in from that Sludge Wave. So going for crunch, not expecting a shield this time, and the opponent does not shield the crunch, which is really good for us. And now I can let go of my Gyarados and come in with Gengar to farm this Swampert, but unfortunately Swampert is able to get to another charge move, and I did not shield one because I knew that Gengar can survive, and since counters are triple resisted, I figured that my only win con was to not shield the Hydro Cannon. And now since the opponent did not shield the first, I can just look to farm down the Escavalier to take the win. So yeah, good game. In the next matchup up against Galit, and this is the lead which I don't want to see. I really struggle against the Galit lead, and yeah, let's see how we like to come back in with. So the opponent definitely has enough for a close combat. I mean, they don't need it, but they farmed a lot of energy of us. Fortunately, they throw another Leaf Blade, which is really good for us because now we can come in with Obstagoon and look to farm down the Galit. Unfortunately, they are able to throw, but this is just a Leaf Blade because I was counting the confusions, and we are able to farm down the Galit, but I think they will have something strong against the Obstagoon. Or not, they come in with Empoleon, and this time around I think Crosshaw would have been better, but we get a boost which is equally good because now our counter damage will really damage this Empoleon, and since the opponent is not looking to switch out, I am expecting something weak to Obstagoon in the back. And let's see, fortunately we are able to farm down the Empoleon, and there is a Snorlax in the back and a Shadow at that one, so I don't really want this Snorlax to see my Gengar. Getting a bit of lag there, but I think at this point the opponent realizes that he cannot win because Licks are triple resisted, and the counter damage, especially with the boost and with Night Slash damage, is adding up, and we have basically just walled the Snorlax out there. I think the buff saved us in this case because Snorlax in the back would have just destroyed our Gengar. So yeah, good game regardless. And was in an Empoleon lead, so I swapped out immediately because I didn't know how the matchup goes. But you definitely can stay in that match. It's not a very losing scenario. So definitely would want to shield the Drill Peck, and because I really wanted to pressure the opponent shields. Unfortunately, we go down with a lot of energy, which is not really good since this Empoleon now is loaded on energy, and our Dragon Breaths and Aqua Tail would be heavily resisted. So this will I take the Drill Peck on my Gyarados and come in with Obstagoon to farm some energy, but they throw the last minute Hydro Cannon, and they have a Machamp in the back. So we go down with a lot of energy of our Obstagoon. So not really very well played from my side, and yeah, I lost that one. Basically, I think that was a very bad play. So in a Kingdra lead again, and a very favorable lead. So expecting a swap out to Alolan Muk, and this time I throw the Aqua Tail because I knew that we would be able to win. We have a pretty good matchup against that Kingdra, and I tried to take on a Dark Pulse onto the Obstagoon, but it failed it failed miserably because we do end up taking a Sludge Wave, and the opponent is definitely charging up to another Sludge Wave, but we get a boost again, and unfortunately we need to shield because this is definitely a Sludge Wave, and I do want to keep that matchup. They come in with Togekiss, which is not really good because since they are ahead on energy, and this Togekiss will just delete our Obstagoon, but we do have Gengar in the back which will be able to pressure the opponent's shield. So I swapped immediately to my Gyarados because I was expecting a swap there, and they would shield the Aqua Tail, which is really good. And if this Octazooka does not debuff us, I think we are in good. So Octazooka did not debuff, and this gives us an opportunity to go for an Aqua Tail, and I think this will be enough to KO the Kingdra. And I think both the times we did not get a debuff of the Octazooka, which proved to be critical because against me, like, the opponents have like almost every time they get a debuff. So now this Gengar, if this Shadow Punch gets shielded, which it did, which is really good, but I think this Togekiss is within a Shadow Punch range, and yeah, we are able to take that win. So yeah, good game. And I think this is the last match of the video, and again in a very favorable lead in the form of this Escavalier. So we are going for Aqua Tail because Aqua Tail will be doing some decent neutral damage, and this Escavalier can only throw neutral with an aerial ace, which it does carry. So the opponent swaps to the Gyarados of their own, but it's a waterfall Gyarados, so it will take some time to get to a charge move. So they like the crunch lands, and this brings this Gyarados to very low. And I don't want a lot of energy to be left of this Obstagoon for Escavalier to farm, so I'm allowing this Aqua Tail to go through. This will not KO us, but will bring us low enough so that Escavalier can only have a counter or two to farm off us. And it was good that they were able to get a waterfall off. So Escavalier comes in, and fortunately I'm able to throw this last minute Night Slash, which will grab the opponent shields, and they I think they got 2 counters in. So I think I come in with Gyarados to absorb the damage coming in from Escavalier, and now I can shield once and look to farm down with Gengar, but the opponent makes a simultaneous swap. So I would definitely want to shield one Frenzy Plant, and I go for Shadow Ball straight away because I was not expecting a shield from the opponent's end, but the opponent do end up shielding the Shadow Ball. I think we are good here because even if the opponent would have shielded the Shadow Ball, we would have been able to beat us the Venusaur to the next charge move, and Escavalier is in Shadow Punch range. So going for Shadow Ball, I think a Shadow Punch might have also worked there, but I did not want to take a chance, and the Shadow Punch will be definitely able to take out the Escavalier. So yeah, good game. And I think this team did pretty well for me, and the only change which I've done is in the Obstagoon because I started getting a lot of Machamps and Fairies, so I swapped in the Obstagoon with my Surfetched, and I think it did equally well. I didn't feel anything was missing from Obstagoon. So currently I'm running Gyarados, Surfetched and Gengar, and it's doing pretty well for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you did, do make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Peace.